The first football team that took the field for Bishop Heelan High School was in the fall of 1949, but it wasn't until 1961 that Heelan football truly emerged. That season, the Crusaders rolled to a 9-0 record in the school's first state championship. That team was so accomplished that it was later ranked the #1 parochial school in the nation and garnered a #5 national ranking, the only Sioux City school to ever accomplish this. The driving force behind the team was an offensive lineman named Leo Miller. In 1961, he was named All-American by Scholastic Magazine and would go on to the University of Iowa, where he would play for the Hawkeyes. His career would end as a member of the Omaha Mustangs of the Professional Football League of America, a minor league affiliate of the Kansas City Chiefs. While his playing days were behind him, his call to lead continued as he went on to a career in law enforcement, including Woodbury County Sheriff and eventually the Iowa House of Representatives. In 1990, he was inducted into the Iowa High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame. Leo passed away in 2012 at the age of 68. Presenting Leo tonight is former Bishop Heelan teammate Keith Bowden.
The first time I met Leo Miller was in a grade school football game. He was really big, strong, and fast. I would say around 200 pounds. I was at least maybe 100 pounds and the quarterback. Every time Leo would tackle me, which was a lot, it would hurt. I was just glad that Leo was going to go to Heelan and he was going to be on my side. I knew then, when I was in grade school, that Leo was going to be an awesome football player. At Heelan, Leo was a great leader on the field and off. I can remember him always telling us we have to work together to be a great team. I also remember one time running the ball in practice and I ran into Leo head on. That was a big mistake. It was like running into a brick wall, and I felt like my head was pushed clear down into my chest. Leo helped our 61-62 Heelan football team to be the greatest football team in the history of Heelan. 5th in the nation, 1st in the state, and a lot more. Leo Miller was not only a friend of mine, but a friend of all of us and a great football player. It is an honor and a privilege to present Leo Miller into the Bishop Heelan Athletic Hall of Pride.
Joining us tonight and accepting on behalf of their father are Leo's children, Mark, Richard, and Patricia.
Right at presentation, I want to talk about my dad a little bit. First off, our family's honored that you would give this distinction to him, that you inaugurated the Heelan Hall of Pride. You can't just imagine what that means to us, especially since we lost him early about 10 years ago. At the age of 68, it's been tough to recoup on our side. And you just think people are going to forget about it. They're going to forget about your loved ones. So it means a lot to us today to be standing up here. So on behalf of myself, my brother Skip, my sister Tia, our family at the table, we just like to thank you from the inside of our hearts. Today I'm going to talk about Dad a little bit. Growing up around a great, as a lot of people here know, it's a little different than normal people. We thought everybody knew your dad. We just thought when you grew up, everywhere you went, everybody would talk to you and say hi to him. We thought that was normal. We didn't realize that because he did something special. Well, the special started here at Heelan in his athletic prowess, but he didn't talk about that at home. We didn't know, we talked about that earlier, we didn't know growing up that he was a great football player. We knew he played at Iowa, we knew he played at Heelan, but he didn't brag about himself. He didn't talk about the past days, he always lived in what was going on now. We knew him growing up as a coach. He seemed to coach everything and everybody that you could think of. He coached football teams, he coached track teams, he coached everything he could put his hands onto because he cared about people, he truly cared about the kids, he cared about the programs, he was trying to develop future leaders and give them the same experiences that he had. You think back to the giving he had, we talked about not too long ago, me and my brother, when we were in grade school at St. Mike's Leeds, our equipment fund really wasn't really good. to say the least. We didn't know at the time, but Dad had forked out his own money to buy us all new uniforms, helmets, and shoulder pads. You know, and on a cop salary back then, that was hard to do. That took a lot to get him done. But that's the type of person he was. He continued that coaching. He took care of people all through. He coached great athletes in the Sioux City area, from state champions and shot put and discus, state record holders, all the way up to college athletes at Morningside College, Briarcliff College towards the end, where he was teaching track athletes. You know, to show his compassion, the type of person he was, again, when he coached at Briarcliff, he wouldn't take a salary. He did on the side, but instead of a salary, he made an equipment fund. And then he would take these young athletes coming into Briarcliff who maybe didn't have the money to buy their own, you know, the best shoes, the best uniforms, the best equipment, and he would turn it back to them to buy equipment for them and keep it going. It's just the type of person he was. So the base he got here at Heelan as an athlete followed him in life to where he became a great person. His team became the city of Sioux City and Siouxland itself. You know, he did all the coaching that he went to, did a lot of, you know, donated his time all the time to coach people, but he also had a life of service. He became a police officer, got injured after getting hit by a drunk driver, went to the state legislature, got involved in community juvenile detention at the time, became the Sioux City Sheriff, Woodbury County for several years, and then he found his, what I would say was his greatest passion for work after that. He got involved in keeping juveniles out of gangs. He worked on gang task force, he worked with families, he worked on keeping people, you know, putting them on the right track, giving them the chances that he had growing up. And I think that was the greatest in his life. So it's just wonderful to be able to talk to him again and to thank you on behalf of our family and let you know a little bit more about my dad other than just his athletic prowess. So thank you.